Hey guys, back again with another review! And this review, sadly, is of a bad movie. The movie is from 2007 and it's called Blood Descendants. Look at that cover. With that cover, could it be bad? Could it be bad? Look at that. Guess what? It can be. So first of all, I'm going to say who starred in it. They're all unknowns. So here we go. Christy Clancy, Susie Crochet, Alexander De Ponte, Stephen Dinello, Michael Dione, Erin Drake Pryor, Paul Thomas Falzone, Crystal Farley, Bonnie Farley Lucas, Nicole Fulton, Kevin Colvin, Phil Colvin, Andrew Grenhard, Joanne Jean Hornby, Andrew Jeffries, Edwin Lewis III. Now, I have to be honest, this film had 150,000 budget. And it was absolutely terrible. So basically, I'm going to read what it says on IMDb about the movie. Because the movie made no sense and was boring as hell to me. So I'm going to read what the plot summary, and I'm going to tell you from that basically what I thought of the movie. I don't normally do this, but it's because the movie was so terrible, I can't really concentrate on it. So, fulfilling a deadly curse, Jacob Bradford rises from his grave. After more than 100 years and exacts bloody revenge against the descendants of the men who murdered him. Even after several shocking murders are discovered in this small college town, the locals who know of the curse dismiss it, including Chief of Police Brad McCormack, Sam McCormack's dad. Tensions build as Bruce Fields, father of a cursed family, objects strongly to his son's relationship with Jenny Bradford, Jacob's great-great-granddaughter. Ignoring his father's warnings, Matt Fields pursues his love for Jenny. As the intimacy grows, Matt is intrigued by a birthmark on Jenny's shoulder, not knowing that it represents a powerful link to the killer, who preys upon the town. As the murders become more and more gruesome, both at the college and across town, Chief McCormack and Janet Moore, a Metro forensics officer sent to assist him, scramble to make sense of the evidence, 100-year-old weapons, soft porn sites, unexplained fires, and a murderer who seems to be everywhere and yet nowhere. Only one person has the power to stop the onslaught, but she doesn't even know it. That was written by Stephen Charles Castle and Richard J. Lucas. I'm going to give them a little shout out. They're on IMDb and they probably put that up years ago, but that was their words, so I'm going to say their names. Basically, the film goes on about this great-great-grandfather, Jacob Bradford, of Jenny Bradford. And basically, he fell in love with a woman and it wasn't allowed, and basically they killed him. They put him in this coffin thing, stabbed it with, I have got no idea what it is, a hatchet-looking thing that people probably know what that is. I don't know. And basically push him down and bury him. Yep. He comes back 100 years later with really bad makeup. When I talk about bad makeup, I'm talking about a whole load of fried eggs on his face, basically. Broken, mouldy, sick with fried eggs on his face. That's what it looks like. Yes, it looks nowhere as good as that. So at the beginning of the film, you've got two people having sex in the car. And he's like, oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. And the woman's like, oh, what's that? And it turns out to be Jacob Bradford. So as people basically hear about Jacob Bradford, they go, oh no, it's not true. But Matt's dad says, be careful. Jacob's back. And he's going to kill you, son. But you know what his son does? Punches him in the face. He goes, you're not even my real dad. And walks out. Nice. That's what happens when someone's considered worried about you. His friends, they end up recording him, Matt, and Jenny having sex. And what was her name? Let's see. What was her name? Where are you? Tamara Mayer actually played Alexis Davenport. Basically, watches the video, masturbates. Her boyfriend Trent comes in. She goes, "Get your clothes off. Let's have sex, because I just masturbated thinking about your best friend." Yeah, that's how we do it. That annoying piece of shit, Alexis, she lives on to the very end of the movie. And you're like, ugh. At one point, she comes on to Matty going, "Oh, let's have sex. No one has to know. I love Trent, you love Jenny. But it doesn't matter. We can have a one-off." And you're like, okay, there's a killer going around. It also has got sick and fried eggs on his face. This is serious. And you wanna have sex. And it turns out one of the boys who gets killed was running a soft porn site. And you're like, what's this got to do with the story at all? Right? So basically it turns out that Jenny has a power, but every time someone gets killed, she feels it in her gut. That's right. Like a ball, like, oh. So at the end, Jacob goes up to Jenny and Matt, and he goes to Matt. The debt is fulfilled. The whole family's dead. And you're like, oh nice, that's great. They're like, let's have a party. And he says to he bows to Jenny like this, and you're like, that's your great-great-grandfather. She should be bound to you, mate. Right? She's been kissing your fate. You've killed everybody who was bullying her through the whole movie. Recording her, trying to look at her naked. You know, that's right. I wish my great-great-grandfather would kill everybody who annoyed me. But then Matty does the most stupidest thing possible. He goes, "You killed my dad." And you're like, but earlier you said he wasn't even your real dad. He goes for him, and Jacob lifts him up like this. He goes, "Ah," with that fried stick and egg on his face. And then Jenny, she grabs onto him, and this big ball of light comes out, and Jacob goes flying. And do you know what happens then? Jacob sits up, and he's human again. You don't see no scars, you just see clear face, right? And then he walks off with his girlfriend in the spirit world after he gets shot by the police officer. Now, the forensics officer this is. The forensics police officer, whatever she is, she shoots him a few times, he turns into a ball of light, and then you see him going off with the girl he should have been with at the beginning of the movie, where he got killed for being with her. They hold hands, they go off into heaven, I guess. But let me tell you this, if he's killing Pill, would he really be going to heaven? Anyway. So, talking about the police officers, Chief McCormack and Janet Moore. Basically, Chief McCormack is an ugly-looking police officer. Janet Moore's not bad. She's quite nice-looking, I guess. And Chief McCormack, for the whole movie, there'll be a death scene. He's like, "Would you like to grab some dinner? I'd like to give you the shillelagh. I'd like to give you it whole. I want to stick something inside you." So like, what? You're like, there's murders going on, buddy. Focus on your crime. It's supposed to be the chief. "Oh, I'm the chief, and I want you to be my sitting bull." You know what I mean? You're like, oh. The movie's horrendous. The acting's terrible. The main villain is awful. The kills, they get a little bit bloody, but they're terrible and they're boring, if you know what I mean. Like, just a slit on the throat. I've seen better. There's no tension or suspense at all. It's just he turns up, kills people, done. And most of the time you see the terrible actor Matty. Who was he played by? Let's have a look. Matty was played by... Who is he? Matt Fields was played by Jeremy Mike. And he was an absolute terrible actor. This was him. Ready? Okay, a woman says she loves me. This was him. "I love you too. I might as well be holding this DVD case, this Blu-ray case, we're going. Blu-ray version of the feature film, audio commentary producers, Eli Roth." Right? That's what it was like. It was that bad. Oh. It was terrible. It really was. I mean, it was one of the worst actors I've ever seen in my life. And the girl who plays Jenny, she looks like she can't act her way out of a paper bag and all. It looks like a college. I tell you what it looks like. It looks like a college project. Like, basically, people at college went, oh, let's make our own slasher movie, basically. And you can tell they were going with the right kind of thing, but they were terrible at what they did. It was horrendous. No wonder no one else has probably watched this movie. I looked on IMDb, and only had 2 people who reviewed it. And now I know why, because they were probably too ashamed to put their name to it. Well, me, it's a movie, and I have to review the movies, so... Okay, Blood Descendants. Terrible acting, terrible kills. The killer looks like he's got a sick and fried egg on his face. Look, you can see right there. Sick and fried eggs. Yep. And he's got a terrible weapon. The story's terrible. It's boring. Because the actors are crap, it's even more boring. Right? I think I found a film which matches Hellraiser Bloodlines. I think I found it. I really do. This movie is awful. So, my final rating. Don't watch this movie. Don't even pick it up. If you see it on the floor in the street, pick it up, smash it, and throw it in the bin. Then burn the bin. Because it's not worth anyone getting a chance to even look at it. It's awful. So this is a 0.5. The only reason it's a 5, the only reason it's got a 0.5 is because I actually got through it. Otherwise it would be an 0.0. So an 0.5 because this is horrendous. Don't buy it. Don't watch it. Don't even give it a go. Terrible. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.